Man, I'm dead.
Welcome back, you guys, and the Cavs made a lot of big moves at the trade deadline. They basically reshaped their entire rotation today, and I want to talk about why I think they got better and have a better shot at making the NBA Finals with this roster. This is going to be interesting. We're about to see if LeBron James can lead a team to the finals with 4 new guys he's never played basketball with before. Do not hesitate to drop a comment of your thoughts about the Cavs trades. Let me know which points you agree with in the video, so let's go into reason number 1. The first reason is they traded away Isaiah Thomas. I'm a big fan of IT, but to keep it brief, his time in Cleveland was not working out. The combination of him playing bad while recovering from injury and him being a locker room problem made it easy for Cleveland to move on from him. In his 15 games with the Cavs, he had the worst defensive rating out of any player in the last 25 years and was shooting 35% from the field. Obviously, they have to play the games first, and I could be wrong, but I do not think it'll be too hard for George Hill to make the Cavs a better defensive team. I talked about George Hill being disappointing with Sacramento in a previous video. He clearly checked out mentally with this Kings team, but I think he'll turn it around with the Cavs. He is 6'3" with a 6'9" wingspan, so he'll be able to defend both guard spots, which is something IT cannot do. George Hill was one of the reasons why Indiana and Utah were such great defensive teams this decade. Plus, George Hill has playoff experience with both of those teams, so a deep playoff run will not be new to him. Again, I really enjoyed watching IT last year, and I was rooting for him to get back to form, but this trade was necessary. Since Christmas, the Cavs have had the 29th worst defense and the 3rd worst record. Of course, not all of that is Isaiah's fault, but he was getting exploited every time he got screened on defense. He's just too small to make any type of impact on that side of the floor. Now, let's just say the Cavs did not trade IT. They were going to have a really tough time keeping him on the floor in the playoffs against the Raptors or the Celtics. He would have trouble defending Lowry or Kyrie. If IT is not scoring efficiently or getting to the free throw line, it's hard to keep him on the court because you know he won't be making any defensive plays. It's been a tough year for IT, from being 5th in MVP voting a year ago to getting traded for Jordan Clarkson. Life definitely comes at you fast. Let's go into the second reason. The Cavs as a team are top 5 in 3-point shots made and 11th in 3-point percentage, but they got even better at the 3-point line by adding George Hill, who is shooting 45% from the 3-point line, which is a ridiculous percentage. George Hill does not need the ball to be effective, so he'll be very important for the Cavs spacing. They also got Rodney Hood, who is averaging 16 points per game on 39% shooting from the 3-point line, which is well above league average. Rodney is going to have a lot of opportunity to make 3-point shots next to LeBron. He is injury prone, so we will have to monitor that. On paper, the Cavs are going to be able to run a lot of lineups with amazing shooting. They could run a lineup of George Hill, Rodney Hood, Korver, LeBron, and Love when he gets back. Everyone in that lineup is shooting above the league average from 3. You have LeBron next to 4 guys who you cannot sag off of. That's going to be fun to watch. A team that was already good at shooting threes got even better at shooting them at the deadline. So the Cavs won here by adding 2 guys who were shooting threes at an elite rate. Let's go into the third reason. The third reason is the Cavs got younger and more athletic, which is something a LeBron-led team hasn't had in a while. This Cavs team was going through something the 2014 Miami Heat were going through at the end of the season, but on another level. They had to rely on a bunch of old and slow role players that would eventually burn out at the end of the season, but now they've replaced those slow players with more youthful and athletic players. Before today's trades, I really did not think this Cavs team could make the finals because of their defensive problems, but getting rid of guys who weren't doing much of anything gives them a better shot as of now. They traded away Rose, who wasn't giving them much. They traded away Jay Crowder, who has fell off a cliff as a player. He's slow on defense and can't hit threes at a high rate, so getting rid of him and replacing him with Hood, who's younger, faster, more athletic, and can hit threes, is a win for the Cavs. They got rid of Shumpert. Shump is a 3-and-D player who is trash at 3-and-D, so getting rid of him is good and probably gives Cedi Osman more minutes. Getting your young guys more minutes is always good. Losing Wade hurts a bit because he was one of the few bright spots for the Cavs. He was good as their 6th man. Wade was leading the bench units that actually made them somewhat fun to watch when they were doing bad, but they replaced his production with Jordan Clarkson, who was averaging 14 points on 44% shooting. Jordan Clarkson is known to be super inconsistent. He'll have a game where he looks close to unguardable, then the next game he forgets how to dribble and shoot, but the Cavs at least are replacing Wade's production on paper. Trading away Channing Frye hurts a bit too because of his floor spacing. He's a good locker room guy, and he's a team-first guy, but Larry Nance gives the Cavs a really athletic player that can run the floor and gives them some defensive versatility. Remember, the Cavs bench had really good chemistry, and we're going to have to see if the new guys can replicate it and if the starters can mesh. But again, I've been saying this the whole time, on paper, I think the Cavs are more equipped to get to the NBA Finals. The team as it was before this was not playing winning basketball. It's just that simple. They were full of old, underperforming players that needed to be replaced with younger and more athletic guys, and that's what they did. Let's go into the last reason why I think the Cavs got better. And my final reason is, they kept the Brooklyn pick. The draft pick that some people wanted the Cavs to trade away is here to stay, and that is for protection in case LeBron leaves in the summer. If the Cavs traded the Brooklyn pick and LeBron leaves, you're looking at a tough time rebuilding. Life without LeBron would be tough, but if you keep the pick, at least you'll have a chance in the draft, and hopefully that player can turn into somebody you can market as the future player of your franchise. But on the other hand, if LeBron stays, you get all of the good things that come with having LeBron on your team, and you get that possible player of the future if the draft pick works out. So this has nothing to do with them getting better this season, but it makes their future brighter. Kobe Outman definitely did some good work improving the team without having to give up that pick. The only thing the Cavs did not get is a legit rim protector, which is okay, I guess. I do worry about their rebounding, but it's really hard to get the perfect balance of players on your roster. But overall, the Cavs got younger, more athletic, better at three-point shooting, better at defense. I don't know how much better at defense, but definitely not the worst in the league. Again, the bench had really good chemistry, and we're going to have to see if they can mesh, because things can go bad. But on paper, I think the Cavs are more equipped to make it to the NBA Finals with this roster. An interesting trade deadline for the Cavs. Obviously, other teams got in the mix with the trades, but the Cavs were in a really bad spot that everyone was talking about, so I wanted to get in on it too. And that is it for me. Shout out to you watching right now if you're still here, because not everyone makes it to the end. Definitely subscribe if you have not already, and follow me on Twitter because I do tweet when the games are on. So I'll see you guys in my next video.